On today's Community Wednesday, let's break down a subscriber's Milano 821. Some of you longtime viewers may know that this will be the third Milano I have looked at, and the very first rating subscriber builds video was also a Milano. So let's check out this Milano and see how it compares to the build I previously recommended. In their build, they're using the suppressor, 10.6-inch task force barrel, Raider stock, airborne elastic wrap, and even though they told me I could choose my own fifth attachment, since they're using a reflex optic, I decided to choose the Microflex LED to reflect their build. So let's take a look at the stats, starting with mobility. Most of the stats are very similar, but only 4 are identical: the reload and reload add times, sprint speed, stability, and rate of fire. This Milano gets a blazing fast 140 millisecond ADS time, but because it has a 200 millisecond sprint out time, it will actually be ADS before you can even fire. The mag cap is 32 since there is no larger magazine equipped. Now a quick note on the reload and reload add times. Because the mag is 32 instead of 55, you're definitely going to want to save at least one bullet in the mag if you can, because a 3-second reload is not what you want in the middle of a firefight. And the movement speed is slightly slower at 297.5 meters per minute. Its ADS strafe though is a bit faster at 2.94, which is quite nice. Its bullet velocity is also higher at 606.1 meters per second. All these stats except for the mag cap are what we would ask for in a sniper support weapon. So this build gets a mobility score of 38. Its recoil is going to be very similar, although it's going to have a bit more deviation because of that task force barrel, but it's still very easy to control. However, it is going to be limited to between 55 and 60 meters, depending on how used you are to it. So it gets a recoil score of 33. And now for its damage, unsurprisingly, it's going to be pretty much the same score. However, its most important score, the first damage range, is going to be down by 1 meter. So 12 instead of 13. Its second damage drop-off goes from 20 to 17, but the TTK is so bad at that point that it really doesn't matter. And everything that I said during the Milano update video applies still today. You should only use a Milano in the first damage range if you're only hitting upper torso shots. It has no recoil, so of course you're going to be very accurate, but it's still going to be only an average TTK. As for the other ranges, it's not going to be great. At those ranges, you're better off using pretty much any other weapon. Most assault rifles will be getting a better TTK, even if they're only made for long range. So the Milano still gets a damage score of 22.5, and when we add up all the categories, it gets a final score of 93.5. This is 2 points less than my previously recommended Milano. So about your build. It may have worked before we switched to 300 HP, but it definitely doesn't now. It's no longer a sniper support weapon, so it's gotta concentrate on CQB. And the build that I listed is definitely not optimized for this either. We have to start from scratch. Now, I would increase its range as much as I could. However, you should also make sure that you have really fast mobility, so something like the Tiger Team Spotlight and the Bruiser Grip. And instead of ADS, it should definitely be prioritizing hip fire. That way you can keep your mobility as high as possible. It still won't be a great weapon, but it will probably make you fast enough to evade your targets. Most of my kills during this video were because I got the jump on someone. And even when I did, sometimes they would just turn around and kill me. Whenever I got attacked, unless I was fast enough and used mobility to my advantage, there was no way that I was going to win. So my conclusion is pretty much the same that I had in the very first Milano video. If you can, don't use it, because there's not one thing that it does better than any other SMG. And there are plenty of SMGs out there, meta and off meta, that can compete in today's warzone. Not one thing to make up for all of its extreme downsides. So that's the Milano. Have you used it recently? And if so, what'd you think about it? And if there's any weapon build or part of the game you want to break down, let me know. You may see it on the next Community Wednesday. Thanks for watching.